Hello, in this video I will be showing you some tips for dashboard design which are basically very important, especially for businesses or individuals who are building systems, but still, even if they are using advanced features of Notion, they still are not at the stage where they are making dashboards that will allow simple access or quick access to information without having to search your whole workspace. So these are some of the tips that I've built myself using the principles of UX and UI design. I try to apply them to Notion and see what blocks in Notion can help us do that. I'm also doing this because I noticed a lot of businesses still lacking this aspect of being able to design clean dashboards. So the first principle is about hierarchy. It's best to use the headings hierarchy for showing highlighted titles, paragraph sections. So this is a very good way of giving a hierarchy to your pages or titles. Okay, you can use the callouts for that. You can use colors, but without using too much colors. Okay, I just prefer to use colors whenever it makes sense to use those colors, for example, for warnings or for important information, or most of the time I just use the gray color. Okay, the second principle is about the cognitive load reduction. This basically means that we want to aim at reducing the amount of information our clients or our users see inside the page or the dashboard, so we don't overload them with information that they have no idea what they should do with. Okay, so for this you can use actually toggles to hide things that are probably complex or things that that your common users will not need. And then you have the quick actions that also you can hide buttons that are not used all the time. And then also, yeah, this is an example where I was hiding a chart. We have also the principle of consistency. This is basically for you to be consistent with your icons, with your pictures, with your colors, with your titles and naming also. So, for example, if you're using minimalist icons like these, then it would make sense to stick to the same color whenever it makes sense, and to stick to the same type of icons. Okay, and if you're using the colored emojis, then you just have to stick to them. And then there is also the naming for the buttons. We will see that in a later example. Here we have also the principle of easy navigation. For easy navigation, we don't want your users to be always in the lookout for the previous page. How can I go back to the previous page or the next page? So for this, you can use multiple techniques in Notion. Like the first one is the breadcrumb. This is very useful. You just type slash and write breadcrumb. It will give you an output similar to this one here. This is a breadcrumb. It will just basically show you where that page is located, what comes prior to that page, and then where that page is, the parent page is. So this will allow users to jump from page to another without going outside of your page. There's also this method of using like just text linked to the other pages, and this is by using 2 columns or 3 columns depending on the size of your page, and you can link them to the pages you want the people to go to. And there is also the small explanation of the purpose of your pages. For example, we have a call out here that just is explaining what this page is doing and the purpose of that. So this is a good practice to explain to your users what you're trying to achieve from different pages. And then we have the principle of progressive info. In the progressive info principle, it's basically linked to the overload or reduction of cognitive load reduction principle. It's basically telling you that you should not give all your users all the information at once. You should make it invisible and they have the ability to open it whenever they want that. For example, here you have some advanced options. You don't put them out there for them to confuse them. Instead, you put them inside a toggle so that they can open it whenever they want, on demand. Then we have the principle of clarity, and this is very important. Your templates or your dashboard can be beautiful. It's very good to have beautiful dashboards, but this should not be at the expense of clarity. Okay, so for clarity, I always recommend using the callouts to group together similar kind of information in the callouts that are linked to that information only, or you can use dividers to separate titles or different information from others. Also for the colors, it's good to use a limited color palette. For example, if you use yellow, gray, yellow, gray, and white, or just gray and white, or black and another color, so you stick to the same palette instead of using different colors every time. And then we have the intuitive design principle, which basically is saying that your users or your client should not have to think or guess the use of the buttons or the pages or the views. It should be very clear what this view is for or what this button is for from the naming you give it or from the icons. For example, this icon here is for an alert or alarm or warning. So that's why it's intuitively understood. They don't need to read the word warning to know that this is a warning. Okay? And then you have, for example, in the views, if you have these tasks here for today's follow-ups, you have to write it in the name instead of giving a default view name. So now when they see this, they know that it's today follow-ups. And then they can also edit the icon of the view also to make it clear that it's today, which is like this. This icon is clear. It's referring to a day. And then we have a very important aspect, which is actually the emotional experience. The emotional experience is basically about giving your users interactive messages or, welcoming them in on the onboarding phase, having motivation not everywhere actually, but sometimes when it makes sense. For example, here, if you click this button, it's going to tell me congratulations on finishing your tasks, enjoy the rest of your day. So this is motivation and it's good experience for me. Then there is the possibility of using progress bars, like these, for example. Progress bars like these. There are different types of progress bars that you can make just using the formulas. So now I want to show you an example of a dashboard that I've built for a client. This is, of course, also based on their needs. It has the instructions, the quick actions, the quick navigation. Here it has the high priority projects, and here the tasks due this week, and this is the last meetings and the completed projects. Like very straightforward and clean. And here you have the second part of the dashboard, which is basically some charts that they needed to see the statistics. So yeah, I am Iman and I help businesses and individuals to improve and also build full systems inside Notion. If you have any requests or you need my help, please do not hesitate to reach out. Thank you.